Alright, BobalosRex here, and let's get into this lore rant, because I got so much stuff to do. So, I finally found the quote. If y'all... It took me forever, but I found the quote. So, the World So Saga will provide opportunity to introduce new race class combinations that are fitting into the story. So, we know Void Elves, because y'all already know what's going on in this lore rant from the title. So, we already know Void Elves are getting Demon Hunter. We saw quest lines in a patch ahead of an expansion setting it up, right? So, now they're saying they can just add them whenever. And I've now made my own list. Okay, so let's go over my rankings first. Okay, so to me, we're going to be going over the race class combos that should be added into WoW. Because right now, Horde are on a deficit. So people are looking over here like Nightborn Demon Hunters. So we're going to discuss all of it here. Okay? Now, if you want to see my individual discussions on the classes, that's fine. But this video, I'm going to be going through all these and rating them. So here's my rating. So there's a class. Okay, so the first combination, the first rating is should already be in the game. So this is a rating for classes that should already be in the game. Okay. The next rating is can easily be added via a quest line that you do in the patch. Okay. The next one is takes a lot of work. And this one would be one that gets a patch and a quest line to kind of set it up, right? It's gonna be a very special thing. And then there's the takes a lot of extra work. Now these, if you're in this category, you would need like an expansion level change to go on with the classes or the class to be like, all right, we're bringing all these people in, kind of dealio, right? It would be a Death Knight, a new Death Knight generation kind of edition, a new Warlock, like all the Warlocks are out recruiting, like they had to do that to get all these Warlocks in the game. So, all right. Well, that was a patch. To me, the Warlock edition is kind of like a patch. The Demon Hunter edition is like a quest line almost. You know, maybe a little extra. And then, like I said, my top rank is... There are combinations, in my opinion, that should already be in the game. So, alright. Demon Hunters, okay? Now, I'm going to go over the ones that I think should be added into Demon Hunters. Honestly, in my opinion, alongside Void Elves. But maybe we will get more Demon Hunters in this expansion, right? And they give Demon Hunters some more story, right? If we get like a Demon Hunter patch or a little quest line, maybe customized demons, you can see my Demon Hunter video. Alright, you know what? I may link those. The class ones I'm going to link, because I've talked about the individual classes and get really into detail. So, Demon Hunters would have to recruit, okay? Alright? Who is going to sign up to Demon Hunt first? That is the first generation. That is what I base it off of. I base it off of what it takes to be a Demon Hunter. You need to have the biggest hatred for the Legion, okay? That's what it takes to be a Demon Hunter, and then you sacrifice everything. You sacrifice your whole life to do this one thing, okay? You give it all, and the thing that you do could kill you if you're not strong enough. So that's what it takes to be a Demon Hunter, and it takes Demon Hunter trainers. Like, we may have a newer generation that is actually more stable than the original Demon Hunter storyline, especially when we get the combination of Void Elves. I really do want to see demon hunters, void elves, the Illidari doing this quest, because if we're uniting the elves, right, the blood elves, the demon hunters are there, the demon hunters are pull up, are the Illidari gonna reach across the aisle? I'm telling you, one of the things we haven't really seen in Midnight, we see void elves and blood elves teaming up, but we haven't seen the Nihilus come in. We haven't seen them come in, and I do think they are going to come in. You know, we'll see about my tree theory. So, demon hunters. Who do I want to add? Well, the easiest addition, in my opinion, would be Nightborn. We see Fel Nightborn in Suramar. Some Nightborn took the Legion's gift. Maybe someone took the Legion's gift and then started using it against the Legion, or wanted to. Now they can go be a demon hunter. So I think Nightborn should be added. And then I have two that I feel like everyone talks about too, but I put it in my original demon hunter video. Draenei and Orcs should be demon hunters. Draenei with the Eridar skin. Okay, listen. Now that we have the Eridar skin, Draenei should be able to be demon hunters. And here's the thing, you kind of force skins on demon hunters anyways, with the blindfolds and stuff, right? And I do talk about what's required to get a demon hunter. Just in this case, you force the red skin, or a couple of options, right? Maybe the Fel scarred skin, the darker ones that they use for the Legion. But we don't let you be blue. That would be the only stipulation. I feel like most... You know what? Actually, why not? You could be blue. Who cares? You know what? I feel like it's too nitpicky. But ideally, right? If you were really going to get into character, you would use a red Draenei demon hunter. But I don't... At the end of the day, it's not going to make or break it, in my opinion. If someone's blue. Oh my goodness. Actually, your demon hunter, cannot be blue in my game. But Draenei and Orcs, specifically, have extreme beef with demon hunters. And I would love to see an Orc demon hunter. I would love to see that. Here, look what happens. They all get a unique demon form. Night Elves and Blood Elves, demon form is different. Here, we'll show. Alright. It's not too different. It's kind of a different color. But if they give us form additions, I talk about it all in the Demon Hunter video. For me, the top pick for Demon Hunters are Nightborn for ease of animations. And then what we hopefully get is Draenei and Orcs. But I do add a couple too, a little bit higher than everybody else. Before those, or no. So it's Nightborn, Draenei, and Orc on the top, right? If we're getting Demon Hunters, it's gotta be one of those three after Void Elves. Below that, and then below that, there's two that I think could also be Demon Hunters. Before we need like massive, because for a lot of races to be Demon Hunters, I think is a reach, okay? I'm not going to say no. I'm never going to say no now because of what Blizzard said in the past. But it would be a reach. But the next two would be less of a reach. And that is... Actually, I'm going to add a couple. So in the middle ground, I'm going to add Goblin. Because power's power. I want to add Zandalari for that demoniac demon hunter style. Alright. And High Mountain. High Mountain. Because they fought him in Legion. Alright. I would also throw... Who else? Oh, humans. Human demon hunters. Okay? And then the rest of the races, after that. So like dwarves, gnomes. The Illidari would literally have to recruit to get Earthen, Worgen, Pandaren, Drakthir, Mechanome, all this stuff for the most part. Other than the ones I mentioned specifically, they would have to do some work for. Now, real quick, let's hit Evoker so I can get this out the way. Y'all know I have a whole Evoker video. To me, the easiest way, this is the easiest way to give Evoker to other races, right? Do you know how we should be able to select our Visage form for Drakthir, right? So with Drakthir over here, oh, I gotta pick my Visage. It's this elf-like lady. What if Drakthir, in the story, begin to perfect Visage, right? And can use the other races as their Visage form. So then we have Evoker, right, on a Tauren, and it would basically be, you click Tauren, right, walk with me, you click Tauren, you click Evoker, and then what you see is a dragon right here, and a Tauren right here. Oh shit! Big brain! I'm telling you, that's Evoker. You're a dragon, and your Visage form is a Tauren. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Because that's all this is their Visage form. This is their true form. This is their Visage form. Okay? That's how you get Evoker on other classes. Okay? So, done. Now, while I'm on dragon, let's talk about the one dragon spec, Monk. Get the animations in. Like, we need to fix this model so it can wear stuff, okay? Can we be secretly working in the background with this model and the Visage form thing I'm talking about, Blizzard? So they can get monks and wear armor? That would be amazing, right? I've loved this race. I think it's a pretty cool thing, unlike the haters. But it needs to wear armor. It needs to... What? Why can't they strap it on? It's such a hindrance. Right? Make chests break. Like, maybe chests can't be worn, right? But why can't you strap gloves to this? Why can't you put leggings on and a belt, right? I get the chest, maybe, right? But you can even do tabards, right? Come on. There's gotta be a way. Or more armor. Okay, enough that. Earthen Decay. Earthen Decay would require an expansion level change. There would have to be a reason for the Death Knights to recruit to get Earthen and Drakthir. And Earthen and Drakthir would be like... Well, the Drakthir would be like, okay, kill me. The Earthen would be like... Alright, so we need a lot of death metal. Alright, that's how we get Earthen Death Knights. Okay. Alright, let's get into the main one. So we talked about Demon Hunters, we talked about Evokers, we talked about Drakthir specific and Earthen specific ones. Now let's get into the meat. Paladins, right? Paladins. We are going to fight the Void. I think these Paladins should already be in the game. Which Paladins should already be in the game? Let's discuss. There they are. Kultiran. Why can't Kultiran be Paladin? The Church of Light, right, literally exists in Kultiras. It's like a human religion, right? There's priests. Literally, the main dude of the Tears Guard is a thick boy Kultiran. Let alone the fact that Kultiran is just thick humans. Kultiran is playable thick humans, okay? Let's be real. That's what it is, right? It could have been a body option, right? I do like that we got Kultiran. I'm not the biggest fan of I like allied races because I like the different racials. But man, should they be paladins? All right, they should already be paladins. Just if Blizzard just put it in that they were paladins, it would just be like, yeah, okay, finally, right? Next up, along this line, Worgen, another human kingdom with the Church of the Light. No paladins, right? So you're telling me no Gilnean was like, I'm gonna be a Knight of the Silver Hand? Like, I know we only got so few, and I guess you're telling me they couldn't have got in? Paladinism couldn't have got in at this point? Right? But it's like, no, I'm a dog. Dogs can't believe in God? What? Why can't a Worgen be a paladin? I see no reason. It's like, oh, but it's got the Worgen curse. Like, does the nature magic of the Worgen curse limit it? Because we know it's not like evil, it's just Goldring magic, right? So it's like, they should just be paladins. I see no reason why we can't have Worgen paladins. Alright? Next up on the, in my opinion, should already be in, but, you know, they should get some special stuff too. Forsaken paladins, right? We have now seen a multiple undead light users, and specifically undead risen with scourge magic, so death magic, using the light. We've now seen light risen undead. If we don't get Forsaken Paladin in Midnight, it's a dang travesty. It's a dang travesty if we do not get Forsaken Paladins in Midnight. They should already be in the game. That's my opinion. Disagree all you want. I'm just saying there's plenty of examples of how we can get Forsaken Paladin. Make them light resed. What is Kalia doing? Bring him back. I still think Kalia, look at my original lore rant, Kalia is literally positioned to make her own undead Forsaken Paladin order, like her mentor made the original Paladin order for humans. Like, come on, it's right there. It's literally right there. It rhymes. Okay? Alright. Let's get to the next level. Like, these, I think, should get a quest at least. You know, I would love a quest for all of this, right? Like, the quest line's doing the cool class stuff, you know I love. But let's get into the next ones. Night Elf Paladins. Let's go. They're converts. They're converting, unless they're going to do the Elune style Paladins, which would be great. I would love to see that. We've already seen some Night Elf converts for the light. Like I said, I would love a Sun, Moon Paladin style for Night Elf if they're going to do it. To see them get a Sun order would be interesting. So maybe some maybe some Paladin or some Night Elves convert to Sun like stuff to be Paladins for Midnight. Like, hey, we're going back to the Blood Elves. Some of the Night Elves are like, yo, I want to see what's up with this light, and they do the more Sun and Moon thing. Because Night Elves are big Moon worshippers, I get it, right? Blood Elves are the Sun one. But, you know, this Anshe is talked about with the Tauren. The Tauren have both. Okay, maybe the Night Elves should have learned from the Tauren. But, Gnome Paladin, I feel like the Gnomes have been a part of the Alliance. There's Gnome worshippers of the Church of Light. We see Dwarf early members of the Paladin Order. You're telling me a Gnome wouldn't be like, I believe in my technology and Jesus, wow Jesus, and I'm gonna be a Paladin, right? A Techno Paladin, right? Imagine a light forge Mechanostrider. Actually, if you want to watch me go through all the Paladin mounts, it's a whole lore rant itself. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna link the individual class ones I've done. So I go through all the paladin mounts, but gnome, in my opinion, should be up there for paladin. Okay. Then we got Darkspear Paladins. I don't think they're that likely. I would love to see it in a quest with the Zandalari, especially now that the Darkspear have done their Loa stuff, right, with the Darkspear Heritage. Right? I'm looking at a Faraki here. Maybe we get a Sun, right? But I would love to see the Darkspear get Paladins either through the Zandalari teaching them how to use Loa to bring the light. Maybe bringing in their Loa new Vol'jin stuff. Like, imagine Vol'jin getting Darkspear Paladins. That whole storyline getting Darkspear Paladin. I think that would be cool. Alright, that's a whole quest. Hindarin Paladins. Right? I don't know what their priests use. You know, I don't know what their... I don't know the Pandaren faith, or the light faith part of Pandaren. But I could easily see them be freaking paladins. A lot of the races that can be priests and warriors, which is everything technically, should have a way to get into the paladins, in my opinion. And Pandaren are high up there. Along with Drakthir, right? We see Tyr. Drakthir are really likely. Again, you know what? I'm going to try to speed through these because I do have my full video. But yeah, Drakthir with Tyr could easily get paladins. Now, less likely paladins. Alright, now this is the next rung. This is level 3. It's not the bottom. These ones are Mecha Gnome. Right? Mecha Gnome. Less likely. Void Elf. Less likely. But midnight would be the time to see the light and void. To see a Void Elf master wielding both. Would be cool. Maybe we see it in the story. Orc Paladins. Not completely unlikely. Right? That's not this isn't the final level, but definitely would need some quests, maybe a patch, right? This is kind of the level where you would need an inciting patch to bring in more paladins, right? The ones I talked about before would have special quest lines. These ones, you would need a full order, and that's Mecha Gnome, like I said, Void Elf, Orc, right? Goblin, you would need I think you would need the paladins to recruit. I would like to see a Goblin, but then we got Nightborn Paladins, High Mountain Paladins, right? High Mountain could go Sunwalker style, like the Tauren Paladins, you know, just make them High Mountain. Who else do I got here? Okay, now the two that I think are the least likely right now are Mag'har Paladins. I don't see the Mag'har wanting to be Paladins because of their specific story. And Volpera. Volpera could get recruited easily enough, but I do not see a clear path for them to be Paladin. That's why I put them down here. But they could get recruited. If the Paladin's recruiting, I see Mag'har being like, no, I don't care. Okay, so. Alright, so there's that. So, the Mag'har would be a special thing. The ones would be the Paladins recruiting. And then the early ones, especially like Forsaken, Kultiran, Worgen, should already be Paladin. Now, let's move into Shaman. Alright, I'm going to speed fire these. I'll start at the top of my list. Forsaken Shaman. I think humans, any human should be Shaman. I'm literally behind humans should be everything in this game. Humans should be everything. Let humans be everything. I think everything could eventually get to the point of everything. But Humans should be able to be everything in this, for the most part, without, so like Demon Hunter and Evoker, y'all know how I would do them for human. But the base classes, human should be able to be all of these. Druid and Shaman, human should be able to be them. So Forsaken should be able to be Shaman and Druid. Use Decay Magic. Death, wielding the elements we've seen. Decay Magic, wielding the elements we've seen. And Druids are hard for Forsaken, but we'll talk about Druids then. But Forsaken should be Shaman. Blood Elf, Shaman. Blood Elf, Shaman should already be in the game. I think Blood Elves could easily be Shaman. It's not the most likely. Maybe give them a quest, but they should be able to be Shaman, along with Nightborn. Nightborn Shaman should kind of already be a thing. It's very easy magic for them to get. They just have to have a desire. So maybe some less elves are bougie mages about it and want to be a shaman. That's basically it. Mage is bougie shaman. Alright. Drakthir. Drakthir should be able to be shaman. Primalist Drakthir. Shaman, we all know the big dictator is totem creation. Just get these guys totems. Humans should be able to be shaman, 100%. They should already be shaman. Humans should already be shaman. Night elves should already be shaman. We see primalists, ex-primalists. Get us night elf shaman. Let's go. Now let's get into the unlikely Worgen shaman. They are humans. I think they should get shaman, but I do... Since they are specifically Gilnan, I don't see them too much dabbling in shamanism. That culture specifically. But, like I said, I think all humans should be able to be shaman, so put them in there. Now, Gnome, Mechagnome, Void Elf, and Lightforged, all less likely to be shaman, but if shaman are recruiting, pull them in. Give us a questline where the shaman are recruiting. Let's go. Druids. Alright, let's hit the already should be druids with Blood Elves. Blood Elves should already be druids. Put them in. We see a Blood Elf druid in Burning Crusade. Botanists. Botanists are Blood Elf druids. Okay? Make it full plant, then. If the Blood Elves don't have a Loa to transform into these different shapes, make them use the plants. Go full botany style forms for them, along with Nightborn. Nightborn should be up there as freaking druids. We see one in Nighthold. Okay? Is it a little built different? Yes. But that's the point of the race class combos. Each one's built a little different, especially with druids and stuff. Okay? Earthen should already be druids. Earthen should 100% already be druids. There's like a whole cool thing with the Freya Sworn. How they're buried deep down. Let's dig them up. Bring back the Freya Sworn. Earthen druids have got to be a patch in this World Soul Saga. And then, of course, I've already said it. Human druids should already be a thing. Since it's based off of shape-shifting, you know, give us a Loa of the House Cat. You're telling me that Crazy Cat Lady in Elwyn hasn't attracted the Loa of house cats? Come on. Alright, bear form. Where's the Elwyn Forest bear? Big bear. To be like, come here, little human. You're telling me humans want to worship critters? Humans worship animals all the time. We literally put animal heads on us. Alright? Give us human druids. Alright? Next up, these four, I think, should get a cool quest line, but should also kind of almost... Actually, these four, I think, should get cool druid quest lines. Okay? The ones I just said should already be druids. These four should get cool druid quest lines. And we'll start off with Volpera. Volpera are in Zandalar. Unlike with the paladin thing, where I think is unlikely, Volpera getting druids I think would be very interesting, especially show them going to the Loa of Zandalar and paying their respect, and maybe get a fox-ish style dinosaur Loa form would be cool as hell. Alright? Drakthir. Drakthir druids, they're literally, some of them, you know what, maybe I gotta find the source of this, but I do remember the Drakthir being invited to join the flights in one of the books. Okay, so some joining the Emerald Dragons, a lot of them join. We see a lot of Drakthir working with the dragon flights. I could very well see them get nature magic and maybe get special draconic forms. We already see them as master shapeshifters, literally, and they can wield nature magic. Like, evokers literally wield nature magic, so I think they're up there. And dwarf. Alright, dwarf. Dwarf druids I think could go really cool, especially if we get Wildhammer druids. Wildhammer dwarf druids would be kind of cool. I think they could be added in with the questline or something. Now, let's move into, takes a bit of work, patch and a questline setup. That would be Forsaken druids. Again, it would have to use decay, but I would love a questline setup for that. We got goblins. We got Maghar druids. If we get the orc druids in that questline, I would very much like to see Maghar druids along the same lines. And like I said, goblin, Pandaren druids using the August Celestials, I think would be freaking amazing. Alright. Then Void Elf druids. If we get Blood Elf druids, we could get a questline to get us some Void Elf druids, and that would be cool to me as well. Now, least likely druids, we got Draenei. Light Forge, really unlikely to me. Dark Iron and Mechanome. The druids would have to recruit to get all those. Could we get them? Yeah, like I said, we could get frickin' what is it? Frickin' Beast Transformers over here for Mechanomes. I think could work. You know, if the druids are recruiting, everything could be recruited, but you know, I would love to see some more quest lines added. Like I said, the quest line added races are the coolest to me, and that's all of them. So that's everything. I went through everything. I will link the individual class ones, so I'll have to get that all set up. So check the description. May take me a moment if I miss it, but that's what I think. Top on the list, I think, should be evening up the Demon Hunters, in my opinion. And then I would love to see Paladins, Shaman, and Druid get a patch where they start adding in these combos, right? I really want to see them start adding in these combos, patch to patch. Okay then. Alright? Maybe they're like, hey, we got a model for X Druid form or X Totem. Throw it in, right? Because that's what it takes. For Shaman, it's totems. For Paladins, it's mounts. Okay? For Druids, it's forms. Demon Hunters got the demon form. Alright? Because that's what it comes down to. Animations. So, anyways, that's what I think. You can rewatch, see if you missed something. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.